Welcome to the Lost at Home podcast. Here are your hosts, Scott Bear and Jeremiah Johnson.
Welcome to the Lost at Home podcast. My name is Scott.
And I'm Jeremiah.
And we are back for yet another motherfucking episode.
Yeah, pre-350.
Pre-350.
Yeah, 346 we're at now.
Not catchy. It's hard to say.
Pre-350.
It feels like a weird kink, like, you know what girls I'm into?
Yeah, pre-350?
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, if I have to dig them up, they better not be post-350.
Yeah, that's right.
That's just bones.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh, my God.
Gotta get a bone for bones.
Yeah,
we need a little meat on them bones.
Yeah, that's
literally,
right.
A little.
Yeah, I like the Middle Ages, bitches, not the middle-aged bitches. Like that's a good little start right there for a nice little hip hop song about people fucking bones. Middle-aged women would be not
middle-aged women are bones.
Women.
Jared has a very hot take.
Women.
This week.
Okay, so people from the Middle Ages would be over 350 years old.
I like how you said women as you were forming your thought. I was just hoping you'd be like, women are objects and bones.
Yes.
Objects are bones.
Bones are objects. No, we
are not misogynists here at the Lost and Home podcast. We're many things, but what we are first and foremost is a podcast. We're a podcast going through a transition on the way to episode 350, wherein we are trying to restructure the show to be a little more towards our own personal preferences, which is we love horror. We like all things horror.
We do,
So we're trying to edge the show a little bit more to be not a full-on horror podcast, but like a synergy between a horror podcast and a news podcast.
Yeah, our classic weird news podcast.
And an interview podcast.
Yeah,
so
sometimes.
we kind of cross streams in a lot of avenues here. It's an interesting take we're doing. We're learning each week as we go and figuring out how we're going to do this. This preamble explaining the show will be gone at episode 350 as Jer and his friend Marcus will be making a new theme song, which will explain the show for us.
Yeah, I'm just going to literally put this in behind
with a beat.
Yeah, with a beat behind it. It's going to be 17 minutes long still.
Like the Eminem beat, and then just me saying that spiel and actually us discussing it too.
This is it.
It gets meta.
It's still going to take this long to do it.
Oh, it's like 15 minutes, and then the show kicks in.
This is part of it. People are still hearing this 10 episodes
I
from
would
now.
love that if the whole purpose was to shave the first 10 to 15 minutes of the show where we explain the show off of the show, but then have the theme song be 10 to 15 minutes of us explaining the show.
Oh, yeah. That's
pre-recorded, so we only have to record for 45 minutes.
Yeah, shit, man. We're just taking our time down to make the show. But yeah, so we're going to do all that. And we're still going to bring you some new little nuggets of information. People who've been listening to the show for a while, might like the fact that we create new content out of our weird stories. We still got the web droppings. We may or may not make new content out of it. Guaranteed almost that we will, because that's just the way our brains work. We generally start out with a little bit of a movie integration, but we've got a couple. Sometimes we do some updates and a little mini review. In this case, actually, you brought to the table.
Yeah, before we get to our new formats, movie integrated with a weird news dropping. I was watching Love, Death, and Robots on Netflix.
Which I've seen some of the first season, but they're on season 3 now, right?
11 Emmys it is one now.
And I actually saw, there's actually one from the newest season I saw a clip of, and it looked like a little kind of artsy, and I really want to watch it.
Oh, is it the girl wearing gold?
Yeah,
that one's, people are talking
it's
about
supposed to be one. It's supposed to be like this weird, surreal, like artsy kind of thing. And it looks fucking dope as fuck.
I haven't
gotten
to that one yet.
Yeah.
I canceled my Netflix, so I have until Monday night to finish my run. But
you got to watch that and the new Stranger Things.
God, and Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Well, dude, Monday, my plan is to watch, because I'm kind of do the same thing. I'm not going to have Netflix as of June 1st for some totally different reason.
Not password sharing. Just coincidence.
So my plan, I'm going to be gone this weekend, but I'm coming back Monday, and my plan is to watch, I don't think I've ever watched a season of Stranger Things it hasn't taken me more than one night. I've watched, this one supposedly has 30% more content, but the last 2 episodes I think they're longer than an hour each. So those are not they're not dropping until July. So anyway, I still got that to go.
I love that the entire world's it's a great weekend to hang out with your family and barbecue and go camping and hang out outside. Also, this weekend we have Love, Death, and Robots, Stranger Things, Obi-Wan Kenobi,
Maverick.
Top Gun Maverick. We want to make sure you don't leave your couch one fucking moment this weekend.
Yeah. Well, hey, but with your family, and actually around here, we're in the Northeast. It's supposed to be rainy on Saturdays at least, and so
Yep.
and
it is going to rain all day tomorrow, and I'm probably going to cram down some.
I will say the thing that I like with my my family.
I enjoy my entertainment. I'm going to
cram down some good stuff. I'm just going to suck it up and fucking eat it.
I'm gonna take this dick of entertainment down my throat, whether I like it or not.
That's right. I'm gonna. Oh man,
I'll be crying mascara of love for Netflix.
That's right. I'm gonna puke up the cum of this entertainment. Welcome to the show, everybody. So Love, Death, and Robots. You specifically said that there's some of the new stuff.
Well, I'm only up to episode 3
of the new season.
Yeah, first one's a comedy one with Jason Schwartzman and a bunch of other awesome people.
Sweet, that's awesome. I love the fact that it's anthology driven. If people haven't seen it, it's all
that
different,
one's actually
all different styles, all different
everything.
To
season 2.
Okay.
Short. So it's
Which
a sequel to a previous short.
Cool.
The ones I want to talk about real quick are episode 2, which was directed by David Fincher, about a bunch of fishermen
Never heard of him.
on a boat who get a giant crab on board, put him below deck, and don't know what to do with him. And then he starts killing them because he's a giant crab and he's bigger than the people on the boat running the boat.
Yeah, they should have thought about that.
And then they find out that he can take the corpses and talk through them and demand things.
Oh, cool.
And it becomes this dark, dark tale. It's so beautifully animated and it's so dark.
I will say the animation, just a little bit that I've
it.
seen and they supposedly just got better and better. Is the little bit that I saw, I was like, because I mean, we're both big animation fans anyway, so the fact that I have not watched it is kind of ridiculous because I like that shit excites me so much, like experimental weird animation.
And
sometimes.
they're 15 minutes long.
Yes, I know.
At the longest.
Yeah,
Some are
I know.
5
And there's like
minutes.
6 or 8 of them, like per.
The Fincher one was 15 minutes. The next one I'm going to talk about is episode 3. It's only because I got up this far so far, but it's the zombie apocalypse. But if it was all seen through a tilt lens camera,
nice.
So it looks like miniature cities. And everything's sped up, and it's just like the first thing is a couple driving their car drunkenly into a graveyard, and then getting out and fucking on all the gravestones.
Oh, that's fucking awesome!
But it's sped up, and their voices are high pitched, so it's like. And then all of a sudden, zombies come out and eat them, like and they like die, and then the next scene is like people jogging on a jogging path above California, and they're but they're like, and all of a sudden zombies come out.
Dude,
like,
I love that.
They run around, but everything is done from that tilt shift, so all the cars are. Like, everything's crisp and clear, but it's all blurred except for the part you're seeing. I just gotta say, it's amazing. It's 5 minutes long.
Yeah, and animation
it tickles
weird
me because it's funny, but it's also a zombie invasion, so everyone's dying.
I love like they get like, and you know what it reminds me of really, and I'm pretty sure maybe they even mentioned this is what it's based on. It reminds me of like if somebody actually took Heavy Metal the comic book and made it into an animated
That's
series.
what Love, Death, and Robots is.
Okay, yeah, because like if anybody who hasn't picked up the like for all time, even up till today, if you pick up a copy of Heavy Metal the magazine, comic magazine, it has all different styles of art in it, all different types of stories and stuff. I mean, granted, usually towards genre fiction of sci-fi, fantasy, and horror, but like you've got all these crazy, but like the styles and everything go all over the place, and they're wackadoodle, and they can be fun, they can be comical, they can be like
Love, Death,
scary.
and Robots is that.
It totally feels that way.
It doesn't just have CG; it also has hand-drawn animation. So it's a decent mix of all of it. I just wanted to throw that out since we're trying to be a little more horror-centric. That's my mini review.
Cool.
Love, Death, and Robots has some great horror elements to it.
I like this because honestly, I could definitely bring mini reviews. It could be like a new twist of the show because you don't get to talk like at length about a movie like I do.
You don't get to talk.
You don't get to talk. So like I'm going to talk at length about a movie, but the other person could start the show with a little mini review of like, hey, this is what I watched. I think is cool, and then we go into updates and we go into if there are any, and then we go into my movie or the other person's movie. Yeah, I like it.
This is the evolution. This is why we didn't force our hand and be like, this is the new show.
We figured by
Welcome
350.
to my deli. This is the meat.
Yes.
That's how I picture Arby's, by the way.
Yeah, we have the meat.
This is the meat.
This is my meat. Now it's your meat. Yeah, get raped with meat. Arby's.
But yeah, I like the evolution. I think the mini review doesn't suck. We could always rename it too.
Oh yeah, like it can be a little. Yeah, we'll figure it out. Yeah, this is how the sausage is made, folks.
The small death. Isn't that an orgasm?
Sure.
Yeah. That's not going to work. Yeah. I like we can just call it the sponsored by Arby's mini review moment and not get permission and just see how long it takes to get in trouble.
Arby's, we rape you with meat or whatever the fuck it is.
And just use that every time as a sound clip and cut it from this episode. Like, and brought to you by Arby's this week is the mini review. Arby's,
Lost at Home Podcast would like to note that this is not brought to you by Arby's. And then just, perfect.
Yeah.
That's how we get out of legal trouble with Arby's.
I mean, you post
Like, they
if you
can
pose
afford
anything
lawyers.
as a question.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
real.
Yeah.
We rape you with meat.
Yeah. Did Arby's rape you with me?
And
I'm just asking questions.
we're just doing the Tucker Carlson methodology of...
Has anybody actually noticed when you go to Arby's and you eat the meat, it's no longer there? Do you remember eating the meat? Maybe you do not. Did it happen that maybe it's because you got raped by the meat? I'm just asking questions. It's crazy. Also, white people are being replaced. But I didn't say that. What?
Yep.
Arby's. Oh, we got this guy. Tucker Carlson for Arby's. Anyway, we're not usually not a political podcast, but I consider him outside of the realm of politics, where he's just a piece of shit, evil human being. Like, shitting on Hitler is not political. It's just
shitting on Tucker Carlson and
it's
shitting
not
on Hitler
political.
is not political. It's just it's a thing you should do.
Yeah, because he's an evil human being, like objectively, not subjectively. So.
Oh, also, I want to do another. This isn't in the notes, Jeremiah. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
This is a callback to a very early episode in our show, the Mandela Effect.
Yes.
I think we had the
early.
Berenstain Rift episode, like 30. It was a long time ago.
It was ages ago.
It was back when we first heard about the Mandela Effect and the Berenstain Rift. A new one came up this week that I forgot to put in the notes that I just want to mention as a callback.
This is sort of an update. I'm going to actually do an update next, so this is the update segment.
All right,
Update. Get raped with me. The Arby's update. Oh,
I love it. No, we're keeping all this.
We're keeping it.
This is how the evolution of the show goes.
We're gonna figure this out.
Yeah, we're gonna figure this out. We're gonna talk to our lawyers.
Yeah.
Ed McMahon and the Publishers Clearinghouse checks. You remember those?
Yes.
Didn't happen. Go online, look it up. Nowhere.
They happened. Yeah.
No. There's a clip of Rose from Golden Girls in an episode of Golden Girls talking to Ed McMahon on the phone, going, "Ed McMahon, and you're gonna bring us the check?" That exists. You can't find anything else. Google it.
There's no commercials about the Publishers Clearinghouse?
There's nothing else. No, there's nothing online about it. There's something called the American Publicity Sweepstakes or something.
This is no. I'm going to look it up and I'm going to find something.
Good luck.
Okay.
Apparently, it's basically been like wiped from the internet.
That's weird.
Yeah,
Why? What did you do, Publishers Clearinghouse?
I know. No, apparently Ed McMahon did the exact same thing. People are saying. But it was under a completely different name called the American Private. It had a different name, which I do not remember by even the slightest stretch of the imagination.
Okay, I might be getting on this Berenstain Rift then, because I remember Berenstain fine. I was like, yeah, that's just a matter of but Publishers Clearinghouse was real.
No, it wasn't.
So, well, I'll figure that out.
And if it was, it had nothing to do with Ed McMahon. Nothing.
I'll do my own research.
Ed McMahon didn't touch Publishers Clearinghouse with a 10-foot pole, except for Rose on Golden Girls.
I will prove this wrong by reaching into the other dimension.
Oh, I remember the fucking envelopes with his fucking face on
giant things too. Just people.
The,
and they'd walk the checks. They
were
drive
giant
up
checks.
with balloons.
Yes. Nope.
Okay.
Nope. He did a different thing that was like it with a completely different name that I've never heard of.
I don't
believe that either.
I don't believe it.
So there's your
we've got the
Mandela Effect update of the week.
Yeah, because we already had the Gugon effect, right?
We had a Mandela Effect recently. The Gugon and Goof Off.
I think we're just getting old enough where we just don't remember things very well. So now everything's a Mandela effect.
The old white man podcast. Did you see Mandela Effect? Did you see those kids with their rap music? Apparently, rap was never a thing.
Oh my God! Turns out. Yeah, nobody ever said shoot the police or nothing about nothing gangster rap.
There was no Tupac. There was a 3-pack, but no Tupac.
No Tupac, a 3-pack, and iced tea, but no ice cubes.
Just confused the old white man show.
Now I'm over sitting here with a white warm iced tea with no ice cube.
I just, for the record, want to say I'm way too fucking young still, even though I know I'm considered middle-aged, to feel like I'm hitting old man phase.
Well, we shouldn't be. I mean, we are middle aged, but
we're tech savvy. We're hip. We do things that normal people do.
Well, and also think about when people talk about when I think about that, I'm like, think about how like how long the last 20 years has kind of been. Like when I was 20 feels like a long time ago. I have still that much time before I'm even 60. So I'm like, whenever I feel old, I'm like, wait a minute. If I look back to 20, I'm like, my life is considerably different. So I have a lot of time to do a lot of shit.
You had 20 years accepting the fact that twisted tea was the thing. Now you have 20 years to untwist that tea.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
on your porch.
Yeah, that's right. And you find out.
What are you doing untwisting that twisted tea? That's not a thing, Grandpa.
No, that's right. Well, neither was 3-pack.
He got shot down with Smalley, right? 3-pack and Smalley.
That's right, Smalley Biggs. The goddamn guy. Anyway.
Remember his song Mesmerize?
Oh, yeah. And the completely
Mesmerized by Smalley.
And the completely sane carnival workers?
Completely sane carnival workers.
You think you mean insane clown posse? They do still exist. Oh, I remember them as the completely sane carnival workers. Yes.
Actually, that'd be another thing. Someone completely denying Mandela effects that are current things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like, did you hear the Mandela effect? Call of Duty doesn't exist.
Yeah.
I'm holding the game in my... Nope, never existed.
Never existed.
There used to be a game called Phone Call for Action.
It required you to buy a virtual telephone and a lot of extra minutes, they called them, and then you would call your parents and tell them how much you love them. Could you do that for me, please? Oh, that's just a ruse to get people to call you. All right. Anyway, going up to the other update, the Josh Battle. The Josh Battle is back. This is something we covered, I don't know, a couple years ago, maybe?
Yeah, when the first Josh Battle happened.
Yeah,
there hadn't been one during the pandemic for a few years.
I would assume there's none during the pandemic because it involves a lot of people, a couple hundred people getting together and fighting over the rights to the name Josh. And it started as just this little fun thing. And it was in Nebraska, and it ended up going viral online, and people from all over the country came with the name of Josh to fight with pool noodles to determine who claims the right to the name. And the first year was a 5-year-old Josh Vinson Jr., who actually defended his title this year. By the way, Josh, you didn't really win. People are letting you win. You're 5 years old. People could fucking demolish you. With a pool noodle.
It's like a 400-pound Josh who could just fall the wrong way. There's no more little Josh.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, so this is, people were just having fun with it. They actually used the event to raise nearly $21,000 for Children's Hospital and Medical Center in Omaha, Nebraska. So they actually, they repeated it. It was a big success. They're going to have some fun. So hopefully it continues because this was just a bunch of people getting together as a community randomly based on this random thing. You get all sorts of people willing to come together, just have some fun, beat each other with pool noodles, and then make some good money for a good cause. And it's nice to have a little bit of happy news every now and again. And that little cheater, actually, I think this was rigged because I don't think
he was a 40-year-old midget.
Yeah. It's Warwick Davis.
Yeah. Man, Mardigan!
Hey, everybody, I've got a pool noodle. My name is Josh Vinson. Also, I talk like this. All suddenly, by the way, we were just talking about work.
Suddenly.
Because Willow is coming out, and I'm super excited about that.
Yep. This reminds me of the thing I did. I think I mentioned this on episode 50 way back in the day. Is I searched for, on Facebook, other Scott Bears. That's my full name, by the way. I just said that on air, I realized. You can bleep out the last name if you want.
Literally, the British woman says it every episode for the last 250 episodes.
I actually had to think about that. Like, does my name actually fully
get
said?
there was one time where we were worried about that because we said it, and then I remembered, a couple episodes later, I actually listened and we say our full name in the intro.
Yeah.
She
okay.
does, yes.
All right. I looked for other ones of my same name regionally, like within New England. Wow, really narrowing down how to find me right now.
Yeah.
So I found other Scott Bears on New England Facebook. Well, Facebook, but within the New England region. And I friended all of them. And I waited for one to friend me back. One did, and he was in New Hampshire, and he was like a acoustic guitar guy who played in bars and diners and coffee shops. And he would post his, I'm going to go play music in these diners and coffee shops and stuff, and no one would like him. But then I started liking him. So it looked like he was just posting, I'm going to play in this cafe this afternoon and play acoustic hits.
Oh, and then
I would like it, so it looked like he liked his own.
Oh, that's just so pathetic.
So I just followed. I kept an alert up for him, so anytime he posted, I was the first to like it, and it looked like he would post and like his own posts.
Oh my god, I should do that because I'm actually a friend with Jeremiah Johnson that I've never met from Burlington. We just happen to have some friends in common, so we both keep getting tagged, and it used to. I mean, it still happens occasionally now.
You need to like weird shit and tag him in it.
Yeah. Just oh my god, I need to start doing that. Just pay attention to only his posts and be immediately like it. So Jeremiah Johnson.
I set up a notification for this guy. There is apparently someone with my exact same name in New Hampshire, one state away.
Yeah.
Who? I harassed for about a year.
It'll teach them to accept your friend request.
Teach them to be born and named.
Yeah. Yep. There can be only one.
I'm just glad I'm the evil one who thought of the idea first.
Yes. Everybody should always be happy when they're the first Hitler.
You always need to out Highlander someone else.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you got to be the first one to realize, fuck, I'm the Highlander. I got to find or you got to find the baby version of you to kill, in the past or whatever. Which I don't think that's how most of those movies work, but not exactly. Anyway, so
I remember in Timecop where his wife got killed. He went back to kill the baby of himself to save his wife.
Yeah,
because if they never met, she'd never die.
That's
kind of an anticlimactic movie.
Yeah. Welcome to stupid Timecop.
Could just kill the killer of his wife. Not gonna kill myself. That way she stays safe.
Stupid Timecop. I got an IQ of this many. A stupid Timecop. I'll go back in time and kill myself. So
Strangling
my
a baby.
wife. I don't know which one's me, so I kill all the babies. All the babies. Stupid Timecop.
Just holding babies by their throats, trying to make them do splits.
Which, by the way, you try hard enough, you can definitely...
You can split any baby if you try hard enough.
definitely bash a baby into a slit.
Oh, those bones are soft. They'll break.
Oh, this one went coconut. Splash. Gallagher, yes, baby. Stupid Timecop.
Gallagher me? Wait, he waits. No, it's still here. It's still here.
Wife's still dead. Stupid Timecop, go find more babies. All right, so stupid Timecop is our first movie idea.
Shit.
That could be an empty promise. We were just talking about doing some more pre-produced material of like ads and stuff. That I could have some fun making a fake trailer for a Stupid Timecop. Can you put that actually in the empty promises portion of it?
Yeah, I'll do that.
And I will move into the actual meat and potatoes of the show.
I gotta wipe my eyes.
I'm going to bring my movie to the table. This movie, actually, Scott, you and I have both seen. I actually saw this movie originally a couple years ago, but it fit in with what I'll be talking about later so well that I decided to rewatch it. I also really enjoyed the movie. This movie came out in 2006. It's from New Zealand. It's called Black Sheep, not to be confused with the Chris Farley and David Spade movie. I have 3 words for you. Sheep, fart, explosion.
Yeah, this movie's fucking great.
That happens toward the end of the movie. It's not really a spoiler, but just definitely stay tuned for it.
Did we watch this originally together?
We did not, actually. I texted you. It was actually at the very beginning of the pandemic. I looked it up because I use Letterboxd, which is a great app for... so I could actually literally look to the exact day I watched
just
this
my
movie.
wife and I watched this together.
You would watch it before me because I had texted you right at March 26th, 2020 was when I watched it. And I remember texting you right after, yo, have you seen this? Because I was seemed like one you would have seen, but I was but if you'd seen it, I feel like you would have told me about it. You didn't. I got a little, but whatever. It took me a while to watch it. I assume you probably, it had just recently popped on streaming within the last few years, so you probably had seen it not too long before I did anyway.
To my memory, it was not that long before the pandemic, which is why I asked if you had seen it with me because we had gotten together pre-pandemic more.
Yes,
than...
yeah, and we'd actually watched a few of the movies and we'd done some some more of the viewings like that. This would definitely be a backyard, movie viewing on the projector kind of thing too.
Yeah.
Black Sheep is a 2006 New Zealand horror comedy about mutated killer sheep. Henry, a man suffering from a sheep phobia due to a traumatic childhood event, returns home to his family farm to sell his shares to his brother Angus. Agnes is I guess more of a female name. Angus, who, unbeknownst to him, is carrying out grisly genetic experiments that result in the sheep becoming flesh eaters, sort of zombie-esque, Henry and an activist lady experience a very, bubbly, fun...
My name's Experience.
Yeah, really, that's it. Yeah, so she's, this animal activist, environmental activist.
I'm the daughter of my mother, Feather.
Probably, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, exactly. She starts out with that very stereotypical type, and they end up getting together at some point, pretty early on in the movie, uncover the experiments after they and a farmhand Tucker, no relation to Tucker Carlson because people are not usually related by their first names or fictional characters.
Are these sheep really attacking people?
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
so everything's a question.
Why? Yeah. Did you ever think that? Yeah. And he goes,
have you ever seen someone dead after a sheep attack?
And then he goes, Anyway, so they're attacked by deranged sheep and they seek refuge in what turns out is the genetics lab. And at points throughout the movie, multiple people are transformed into sheep via the bite, a la zombies. One of the things to note here is creature effects. This is a New Zealand movie. They're from Peter Jackson's Weta workshop. Weta?
I don't know which way it is.
I don't know. Either way.
Peter Jackson Special Effects Shop made the special effects.
Yes, and this was after they'd done Lord of the Rings and King Kong, so they were really fucking... This was a bomb-ass thing, and it was a great job of incorporating almost all practical effects from what I could see. Animatronic sheep. They had this man-to-sheep transformation that felt very like an American werewolf in London.
That was really
almost
good.
like the way the snout comes out and all this kind of stuff. There's also elements very reminiscent of Peter Jackson's early work, like Bad Taste, Brain Dead, a.k.a. Dead Alive as we know it in the States.
Yeah.
Sam Raimi, Evil Dead 2 and Army of Doctors specifically. There was a slapstick bit early on in the film where it was actually Experience's partner originally, has the lamb in the mutated lamb in a jar. They're trying to like take it out to have evidence. To bring back to people, and he ends up dropping it, and it ends up attacking him. It bites onto his earlobe, and it reminds me of like the slapstick that Bruce Campbell did in Army of Darkness, especially like when he's fighting little versions of himself or when he's fighting his own hand, all this kind of stuff that ends up having actually so very like it has that kind of silliness. So if you're into those movies, definitely check it out. If you like horror comedies. If you like that kind of slapsticky stuff, but also like the effects are fucking amazing. Like,
I heard that
awesome
Bruce
effects.
Campbell brings that same slapstickiness to Doctor Strange too. That his little part directed by Sam Raimi again is slapsticky in that same manner.
I love that kind of stuff, man. Like, I mean, we're both, if people listen to the show, they've known, we interviewed Dana De Lorenzo, Ray Santiago, Ted Raimi.
I can now play
as
Dana De Lorenzo in the Evil Dead game I just downloaded.
I was actually curious. Did they do mocap or anything for that stuff? Do you know?
It doesn't quite look like her, but close enough.
Okay.
It's just really good CG
design. The reason I was wondering is I was wondering if they had anything to do with the game, if it was just an excuse for us to have re-interview her, Ray.
Well, I'm wondering if it can't unlock Ray because he's not in the game at the moment.
Okay.
But I don't know if they're not going to have add-ons and unlockables. Like it has most of the main cast.
Yeah, I don't know how you can now have Pablo and Dana and Ray were like the two other people to have them in that.
You get Eric the Red from Army of Darkness,
nice.
the Scottish one, the Scottish knight. He's in it. You get a nice mix. You get Ted Raimi as Henrietta.
That's right.
You can play as Henrietta.
Yep.
So there is some direct connection.
So not as like Chad or whatever he was in Ash vs. Evil Dead.
I'm thinking the game already has seasonal content.
Chaz? Was it Chaz or Chad?
Chad, I believe.
Yeah, one of those.
I thought it was Chad. But the game has seasonal content like a lot of other games have, as like a season pass where you can get stuff and then another season pass. And I'm thinking that the whole idea is they're going to introduce more stuff.
Is another mini review of yours
It's another mini review, yes. I might as well. Thumbs up on Evil Dead, the game for PlayStation 5. That's what I have it on.
We're at Evil Dead
the game's
house.
great.
Anytime something new Evil Dead or Evil Dead adjacent comes up, we're going to mention it here because we're both fanatics from even before we knew each other. We were both fanatics. So.
And one question you asked me is a great question some listener might have. I played Evil Dead, the game, for maybe an hour and a half. I did not play with another human being, even though it is a multiplayer game. I played for that entire time doing story mode, tutorial, and other modes, because online multiplayer is just a facet of it. You can play it without that.
Okay.
I'm excited to play with other people because I'm curious how that works. But at the same time, I was playing story mode, which was playing the opening scene from Evil Dead 2. And I was just like, damn, I'm playing that scene where you have to dig up the girl and get her head and put in the vice and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, I'm more apt to get a game that is both rather than. I mean, I'm fine getting games that are only story mode, but I'm less likely to get games that are only online.
It appears you have to play online to unlock more story modes, though. So it's a bit of a synergy.
Okay, that's At
least that's how I interpret it because I have only played it for one night. I need to learn more.
Well, I think especially I share some games with my brother, and he lives in a place with almost no internet, so playing online is pretty much not possible. So it's any games with story mode. It's nice when I can actually share them with other people.
Kids, us as kids, I just thinking today, a PlayStation 5 in a rural setting. Someone with a tinfoil antenna trying to get better online connectivity, essentially.
That's pretty close to what it's like at my dad's place. I mean, they're on the list for
I like
fiber
how I mimicked
for the last
that
3
with
years.
my hand when no one can see.
Yeah. I got
that
you,
that was for Jared alone.
That was for me. We get it, and I think
we all know what holding things looks like.
Picture this.
Picture someone holding a thing. Arby's.
God. So anyway, so my tie-in, my story tie-in, actually the story that kind of led to me bringing this movie back into my life, is that I sometimes we'll say like, oh, could we make a sequel out of this? This really I couldn't, because might as well be what this movie was based on. So like, I mean, if anything, maybe a prequel, maybe like, although that wouldn't really work because it was mutated genetic sheep in the movie Black Sheep, and this is more like I could see this being like an angry sheep, maybe a spiritual sequel.
A sheep with anxiety.
Yeah. This is a sheep was sentenced to 3 years in jail for killing a woman. A ram was arrested by the police in South Sudan earlier this month after attacking somebody whose name I will not try to pronounce, who later died of her injuries. So the police chief said the ram attacked her by hitting her ribs, and the old woman died immediately. She was old. Of course you're going to die immediately by anything. You fart and you die immediately. So, you know.
She was a fart dying.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know.
That one's going to kill me.
Yeah, wouldn't have taken a ram to get to her. So this ram just, you know, took the bullet for this one. But so that's what happened. Anyway, our role as police is to provide safety and separate fights. The ram was apprehended and currently under custody at a police station of Malang Egok Payam. And it turns out that they said the ram was punished for the crime, but the owner was not, because the owner is innocent and the ram is the one who perpetrated the crime. So it deserved to be arrested. Then later on, the case will be forwarded to the customary court, where the case can be handled amicably. The animal will spend 3 years in military camp in Sudan's Lakes State. I was not aware, going into this, that people that animals could be tried for crimes like that, because it doesn't really make any fucking sense.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, I just get to stay in this place now instead of in this pen. Like,
the animal doesn't know what the fuck's happening.
They're just like, oh, cool. And, like 3 square meals a day.
It also doesn't know it killed someone.
Yeah.
I mean, unless.
Unless.
I
mean, I did see Black Sheep. Actually, and here's the thing.
Or the witch.
So that's true. Oh, yeah, that was that was a goat. That was a goat.
What's the difference?
Yeah. What is the click clown?
Difference in a ram and a goat?
Click sounds. Yeah. No, I know they're different animals, but yeah.
But come on.
Yes. No. For all intents and purposes, and actually, so I actually found a subreddit called dedicated to sheep attacking people. It has 36 members on it, and actually one of them was a picture of a video of a goat attacking people. I didn't check to see if people were like, get out of here. Probably because there's only 36 members, and I don't think anybody posts there anymore. I think they were all posted on like one day.
Say go there and try trolling, and no one's reading to see.
Oh yeah, I actually didn't check. The last post may have been like years ago, but it's called like sheep attacking humans. The subreddit. So anybody on Reddit, check that out. I actually did watch a few of them. I will say that some of them were pretty fucking hilarious, and also some of them were actually pretty like traumatic. There was one where people were like, "Oh, we had this 5-year-old kid getting attacked by this tiny sheep," which was a little bit funny at first. But they're like, "We're teaching him to defend himself." But like then the kid started like crying and stuff. I'm like, I can't just watch like this kid actually getting beat up by the sheep. At first it was like, this is kind of funny because, you know, a kid getting bonked, but it's like now you step in, now you do something.
Yeah.
But this is
it becomes just a bad parenting video.
Oh, definitely was. Yeah. They were like,
hit the kid more. I can't.
The kid is like
it's not legal for me to hit my kid, but that goat. We're gonna bring that goat home. Anytime the kid steps out of line, goat attack.
Yeah. That's it. So, but yeah, there was definitely there was one where some guy was trying to like fend off a ram attacking them, and they had a table, and the ram would like charge forward and then stop, or they'd hold the table up, and they were just trying to like get out of this pen, this enclosure, and they put it up, and finally the ram said, fuck that, and just rammed right through the table, blew it into smithereens like a fucking pro wrestler. And then the guy just fucking ran and just like climbed up the wall and got the fuck out of there. It was pretty hilarious. Anyway, so you can watch people getting attacked by sheep. You know, by sheep I mean mostly rams. Some used, but you know, mostly rams.
Some used rams.
Yeah, some used. So I did look into like how often that sheep actually attack humans, and I found that, you know, it happens rarely, but it does happen. So I wanted to actually do a public service for listeners of the podcast and let you know how to survive a sheep attack, and also signs that sheep will attack you. Signs that sheep are going to attack. Let's see. As you get closer, the sheep makes loud vocal sounds. I'm guessing that means like grunts and not like being like, hey, you.
Fuck you, buddy.
Yeah.
Are you getting too close, buddy?
They stomp the ground.
Stop it. Oh, I'm going to stomp.
A lot of these,
almost stomp.
a lot of these things definitely seem like they're
Stomping.
Some of these are definitely like pretty obvious. If you like any animal makes these things.
I'm
like
drawing a line in the sand with my hoof,
Yeah,
or whatever the fuck they have.
I think they have hooves,
yeah.
or maybe they have
hooves.
They have cloven hooves or whatever.
Cloven feet. Yeah, they draw a line in the sand.
Or yeah.
And then they step back and let you walk across it.
Yeah, they say, yeah, come on, bitch. You fucking, I dare you.
Then one hoof just goes, doop, 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 like the come hither.
Yeah, the come hither. Yeah, so they stomp the ground. They have their back arched. They shake. They jump to prevent getting too close.
I'm jumping here. I'm jumping here.
I also like this one, biting or headbutting you. Yeah, you think maybe that means they're about to attack you when they're attacking you?
Honey, you think this goat likes me?
Yeah.
Just keeps biting and headbutting me.
Yeah.
I think it loves me.
Both of you. Yeah, both things.
Open the hatch on the minivan. We're going to take this one home. He's in love.
I will say, though, this is
We don't even need a lawnmower anymore.
That's like, just keep the sheep, man.
Maybe I don't even need you, honey. It seems to like me that much.
Yeah, that's right.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, bestiality.
Yeah, Arby's, we rape the sheep. Oh, Arby's is back. Anyway.
Why do you think that lamb's so tender?
We got, I ended up digging up some ways to survive a ram attack, or a sheep attack, you should say. Avoid eye contact.
Large rock.
Avoid eye contact.
Stool.
Because apparently that means you're
things that just
challenging
get you high enough off the ground.
Actually, no, that is, the next thing really is, always traverse the field on the highest ground possible if there are sheep in it, because they run out of steam up a hill, which is hilarious. They're like, I'm going to get you. Okay, come on. Just stay there. But anyway, but they also will see somebody higher than them, like even maybe on a stool, I don't know, as like more of a threat, and they'll actually become more docile, even a vicious sheep.
Yeah, man.
Never place yourself between a sheep and a
higher
sheep.
than you. If I'm thinking you're gonna fight me, but we're cool, right, man?
Yeah.
Like when they, as a stoner in a field, tried not to pick a fight with sheep because they heard you need to be higher than them.
Cheech Marin, mauled by sheep.
Thought I would just stand there and like roast it out, and they circled me.
Yeah.
They killed me.
They do say don't wear brightly colored clothing or bling in the presence of sheep.
Bling?
And, yeah, that's right.
So many a rapper has learned this lesson the hard way.
Kanye West and Cheech Marin dead from sheep attack. Completely different parts of the globe.
Yeah.
Completely different parts of the globe.
Trying to shoot those COVID videos where, they're allowed to be, like New Zealand.
Oh, yes, yeah.
We were trapped in New Zealand. We couldn't leave, so we shot our newest videos here. Cheech Marin has the newest video. I don't know.
Yeah, fuck it.
Cheech Marin with Kanye. Kanye's off the reservation.
He's featuring with Kanye. Kanye forgot that Cheech wasn't a musician, just was like...
He thought he was a New Zealander, just like a high one.
Yeah. Hey, you're one of those aboriginals, right? He's like, yeah, sure, man, fuck it, I guess.
I didn't know the New Zealand accent drops when you get stoned.
Yeah, man, what did we do, man? Whatever. Hey, man, want to go fuck that sheep? Sure, man. Wait, that's Kanye? That's my terrible Kanye impression. Anyway, I just wanted to teach and Chong and decided to turn Kanye into Chong. But anyway, let me also mention one real quick thing about animal trials in general. I decided to look into these, and there have been some throughout history, and a couple of them I found actually kind of funny. One was actually a story that's probably not really true. It could or couldn't be, but it's a legend that apparently during the Napoleonic Wars, a monkey was the lone survivor of a French ship washed ashore in an old fishing village in England's northeastern coast. They had never seen a monkey and never seen a Frenchman, so they're like, that's a Frenchman. So he decided to hang him. They hanged a monkey thinking it was a Frenchman. This one actually I found really interesting. A rooster was actually burned at the stake for heinous and unnatural crime of laying an egg. Now, it ended up happening, they thought that, apparently back then, they thought if a rooster laid an egg, it meant that a cockatrice, which is a serpent-like creature with a rooster's head, would come out of the egg. They never witnessed it, but they were like, oh, this happens. I should
look into it. Smash the egg. Let it happen. I want to see that.
They're like, they just like, we assume it's going to be a cockatrice, right? But turns out, so I looked into this, and it turns out that technically no quote-unquote roosters can lay eggs, but hens can actually have immediate sex reversal, where apparently one of their ovaries could be like infected and it turns into a testicle, and it makes their little the little thing on their head longer, and it makes them appear like they are a rooster physically, but they are still
it's a
technically
half Jurassic Park.
Yes. Life will
find kind of a way.
Yeah, it will kind of find a way, and then life will get burned at the stake. in 1474.
Can we go back to the hanging of the French monkey?
Sure.
What year was that?
1805.
So in 1805, if these people in their own heads thought of France, they just saw all these buildings and cafes with monkeys running them.
Especially, I think they're like, we've seen one Frenchman and we hanged him, and they literally leave that. They painted a picture of that one Frenchman, and they're
I don't think the Eiffel Tower's around then, but I'm just thinking like all these monkeys making the Eiffel Tower, little monkeys hammering the bolts in and stuff
with little berets on,
but smoking cigarettes.
Somehow they got that stereotype of a Frenchman.
They couldn't get the human part.
Yeah.
I like what just throws me. It's like they're like, it's a Frenchman.
And then when real Frenchmen show up, they're like, well, it couldn't be a Frenchman. They have a picture of the thing, they're holding it up against him, like, oh, God, wait a minute. Not quite as hairy. Still got the beret and the cigarette, though.
The next time I'm on vacation or at a zoo or anything with my wife, I'm literally going to
a Frenchman.
See a monkey. I'm like, hey, a Frenchman. The second I see it.
The good thing about it is, like, French, Irish, whatever, like white people, you could actually still be really racist and bigoted,
against
especially if you're
people.
Also white.
Yeah.
And you can just be like, hey, a Frenchman. Nobody's going to be like, oh, you shouldn't say that.
No one. You can yell it. No kids are going to cry. Or one kid. Wee, 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 wee. Yeah. Whatever French kids cry like.
Yeah, I think wee is fine. I think yes. You know how our crying O sounds like we say yes.
That's how I picture French kids crying.
Okay. We are not intelligent. Okay, one more animal trial, and this was actually one of the most well-known ones. It happened in 1508 in France. It was took place when a bunch of rats, I should say, ate
That's a clutch of rats.
A clutch of rats.
I don't think that's right at all.
It's not at all. That's more like turtles and whatnot, right? Like egg, right? A clutch of eggs.
Clutch of eggs.
Yeah. So anyway, let's say just a fuck ton of rats. A
paparazzi of rats.
A paparazzi. Oh, that's a good one, actually.
I like that one.
A ratzi of rats.
A ratzi.
A ratzi. Yeah.
Ratzi. All right.
So they ate the year's barley crop in the town of Autun, some 200 miles from Paris, and a lawyer, actually, Bartholomew Chassaigne, made a name for himself by providing an eloquent defense, defending. Imagine going to law school and be like, what's your job today? Defend these fucking rats. But anyway, he did a good job. He actually argued that the rats were entitled, like other defendants, to notice before condemnation. And then, when the rats did not show up for their court date for some reason, he attributed their absence to intimidation by their mortal enemies, cats. Without their guaranteed safety, he explained, the rats could not be expected to stand trial. So,
I hope he also just brought a stray cat and like dropped it in the chambers.
Yeah.
So he's like, and if you look over there,
yes.
And it's just this cat licking it. What?
Yeah. Get him! Okay, well, one cat died. But anyway, yeah, so actually there is one
He also
more.
puts a little clan hood on the cat's head just to make sure it is evil enough.
Yes. I like this. This last one actually is good enough, so this is another historical one, and this one's actually pretty funny. In London, England in 1898, a parrot got charged with inciting violence because it was a foul-mouthed parrot, sat behind the bar at Blackfriars pub. It started a fight when its cursing was mistakenly attributed to an Italian ice cream man who just happened to have walked through the door. A mob chased the ice cream man out the door, but not before the parrot, according to the Herald, kept up a running fire of abusive and scandalous remarks. The two men who started the fight were jailed for a month, and there was no word on what happened to the parrot. So, the crime of the parrot, inciting violence. I just love the fact that like every time, just be like an Italian ice cream man just walks through, be like, "What are y'all fucking idiots doing? Cracker?" or whatever, and just be like, "Oh shit, that definitely was that Italian man saying that." We all know what Italians sound like. Yeah, they sound a lot like these monkeys look. I mean, sorry, what these Frenchmen look like. It's like, oh shit. So yeah, there's my bunch of stuff. I wanted to mention one movie runner-up. When I was looking for other movies like this to maybe cover instead, was the movie Isolation, which you've also seen from 2005. Yep. That had more of like a cow bent to it, and it was a little more serious, a little more like fucking dark. But that was a great movie. I'd already seen it again, so I just switched. I just chose the one that was way more fitting for this. But check out the movie Isolation, Irish movie from 2005.
All right. Well, we are into the final segment of the show, which is web droppings.
Yes.
These we used to go out on as like the bulk of the show.
Yeah. I
don't know what to do because we have 4 and we have 15 minutes. So do we want to treat this segment of the show a little bit more like headlines? with
I
little
say just go.
blurbs.
I just say like just start with.
Curious what you think.
I feel like the top. I feel like the first two stories are really solid. I feel like just go as long as you need to on those.
And are we also going to drop out for the theme song, or are we dropping the theme song? Once again, this is all learning as we go.
I didn't put the theme song in last time. Eventually, it'll probably come back. But right now, we're not going to do it. Yeah.
Perfect. All right, good to know. Thanks for everyone listening to us
Well,
making the show.
droppings.
Yeah. All right, the first story isn't actually that long, so it makes sense. I guess we can just jump into it. This is coming out of Australia, Adelaide to be specific. There was an occult club, and its registration was rejected after a complaint that may summon Satan to the University of Adelaide. Essentially, a club is allowed to be formed on the campus and must be approved by a panel of, I believe, 4 people. Majority rule, so 3 out of 4 must vote for it to say yes. 2 of the people on the panel who were supposed to say this occult group could exist did not even show up for the vote, and the 2 that did said no. So, what we end up with is no club, and they are no longer allowed to hold this club on the grounds of the university. This is a subject that I find akin to the religious practices clubs that we say can and can't be on places.
Right, yeah.
And if Satanist clubs...
We have that with the
specifically
the Satanic Temple.
Satanic ones can't.
Yeah, they actually feel like the Satanic Temple, especially in this country, try to like make points of anytime somebody opens anything up, like, oh, any religious group can come, and like they're the first people to like file things, and like,
what us?
What we want is to make sure you guys know we would rather you cancel your bullshit on the fucking, like, if you can put 10 commandments on the school grounds, we can put our 10 commandments on the school grounds, and literally subject to our constitution. If you really care about it, you have to say yes, or you have to get your bullshit off the fucking school grounds. So would you rather have the Satanist stuff on there and your stuff, or nothing at all? Usually people go with nothing at all, and then the Satanic Temple wins.
Yep. And I don't know exactly how Australia's rules go as far as, this kind of thing. It's not the same as our country, obviously. But what they are doing now is putting petitions up and trying to fight this. And there's no new news on whether they are going to fight and win, but it is an ongoing subject. And no, they have already said publicly, we are not trying to summon Satan. That is just weird hyperbole from people who don't understand what we are.
People who literally just like satanic. They haven't watched, like, they just watched shit from like the fucking 1980s, and they're all about the satanic panic bullshit.
This is more of a witch pagan group, and it's really nothing that anyone should give a fuck about unless you want to join the group.
Well, if people actually pay attention to like occult practices and paganism and stuff like that, a lot of that shit, like, and whether you go like even to all the way to like Wicca, but like a lot of Christian practices, especially Catholic practices, are fucking pagan in nature. They just ripped off pagan religions for that shit. Halloween, All Hallows Eve, all this kind of stuff, Day of the Dead, all these things, all these pagan rituals we're totally fine with, but occasionally the people hear the word occult or pagan and they immediately assume you're worshiping the devil. And by the way, the devil doesn't even fucking exist, so whatever. Just go ahead and worship the devil. Nothing's going to happen.
All right. This is
famous last words of a horror movie.
This is the last story of the show, and
it's a doozy, apparently. I've not read it.
I've struggled over how I want to read this story, because I could read it with the Cliff Notes.
I'd like to know who is. I want to know who is Joyce Burnham.
I'm thinking about reading it in full in order, because we have 12 minutes left, and skipping the Cliff Notes version, because the Cliff Notes gives away some fun aspects.
Okay.
I'll give you the title. How about we start there?
Yes.
Woman accused of running over Holocaust survivor in San Fernando Valley has led a tabloid life.
Yeah, you had me at running over a Holocaust survivor. That just sounds amazing. One, Holocaust survivors at this point don't need any help,
We'll start with her name.
Don't need any help dying. They're old. That's what I mean. No, they need help. They're great. I'm sorry. God damn it. That sounded really bad. I'm not like against Holocaust survivors. I just
you survived enough.
It does suck that they would have to go that way.
Give me some of your luck.
But I would say, like,
he's taking all the luck.
Yeah.
The Holocaust survivor, he's got my luck too.
Oh yeah, actually, what
I want to do is basically skip past everything except for her name. Her name is Joyce Burnham McKinney. And I'm going to skip past the Cliff Notes. And
the Holocaust survivor was 91. Like I said, really old, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to go to the beginning of the story. In September of 1977, Anderson on... Oh, is this a woman?
Yeah.
Okay. We're talking about one of her victims to begin with. Sorry about that. I read this wrong. And now I lost my place.
Go ahead.
In September 1977, Anderson, this is her first victim, was on his Mormon mission to London, and McKinney followed him there with an accomplice. Using a fake handgun and chloroform, the pair allegedly kidnapped Anderson outside of a Mormon meeting house, taking him to a cottage, handcuffing him to a bed, with the London police later arresting her. She boasted bail, and a well-waiting trial became a sensation of British tabloids. This is her first moment of being famous for kidnapping a Mormon missionary and tying him to a bed. While in London in 1978, she was photographed with Keith Moon of The Who.
Oh, yeah.
One of the world's all-time drummers, at a premiere for the film Saturday Night Fever. They were cheek in cheek with one of McKinney's arms around his neck as if she had pulled him close. McKinney and the accomplice friend slipped out of the country. But the New York Times and other news outlets and authorities ended up declining to pursue their extraditions. I don't know why I was up to the news outlets to do this. Seems like a criminal thing.
Yeah.
But she got away with kidnapping this Mormon and tying him to a bed and escape back to the United States. And then we jump all the way ahead. In 2011, McKinney attended a question and answer session in Salt Lake City following a screening of a movie about her life called Tabloid. She had a pit bull with her.
Oh,
Have you seen the movie Tabloid?
No, I've never had, but I've seen
Neither have I.
I've seen the box. I mean, you've got box art, whatever, the cover art for that. Yes.
Apparently,
Multiple times.
Kirsten Dunst played her.
Yeah, I've seen the cover.
I don't know for a fact.
I've seen the cover art for it. Yeah. Okay. I've never seen it. I should actually check it out now.
After the project was done, she slipped out of personal view. The entire thing was about the tabloid scandal in Britain specifically. Once it was over, she just disappeared. But she milked that limelight for a while and appeared on TV, and various tabloid publications had interviews with her. So a few years ago, authorities in Los Angeles County started coming in contact with her. And a senior animal control officer for Burbank Animal Center said, "I'm very familiar with Joyce Kinney. We've had many check-in conditions for calls over animals over various years. The calls came in saying that they had seen dogs confined in crates in her white pickup with a camper cover.
Yeah.
And apparently what she had done is she had tried cloning her pit bull, spending gross amounts of money. Her dog's name was Booger. And she had...
I gotta like that. That's actually pretty sweet.
Yeah. She successfully ended up cloning it and got 5 puppies.
You named them all Booger!
Booger Hong, Booger Lee, Booger McKinney, Booger Park, and Booger Raw.
Wow, that's awesome.
These were clones of her original dog that she paid...
so many boogers.
I want to say it was like $50,000 she spent on this. It was at the beginning of the story, the number, and they don't repeat it again. Sorry. So this was probably the world's, it says perhaps the last of the world's first commercially cloned pets. They had serious behavioral issues and also had health concerns. They were not well cloned, apparently. All right, so then we jump ahead a little bit, all the way to 2020, where she hits Jenny Blotsky, who is a survivor of the Holocaust. She hits this 91-year-old while she's trying to cross in the middle of a crosswalk with her pickup truck. And what I love about the story is it wasn't just a hit and run. She gets pulled over by the police. The detectives, when they pulled her over, said that she dropped her pants and urinated as the officers looked on. The detectives then got out of their car, walked up, and started questioning her. So she was doing this as they walked up to her car. And like, so what you doing? We just saw you hit a woman, and now you're just pissing on the ground. The detectives learned from employees of the Pizza Hut just west of the crash scene that McKinney was a regular there, and security camera footage also showed her at the restaurant prior to the hit and run. Fredo and the other detective took... I don't know why I keep saying Fredo, like we should know that name, but it's one of the detectives' names in this very long and ambling story. Took McKinney into custody based on 2 warrants. One related to suspicion of battery. McKinney got into an altercation a few days earlier while trying to use a shower at a local LA fitness, completely unrelated to the hit and run or the dog breeding story. And the 3 remaining dogs she had, because 2 of them had died because of genetic failures, essentially, were taken for her due to all of this shenanigans going on.
Couple of dead boogers.
Yeah, 2 dead boogers, 3 alive. They took them from her because they're like, well, okay, so far we got you pissing in the street, assaulting someone in a shower, running over a Ukrainian Holocaust survivor.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here.
Yep. So she got booked. That's pretty much where we end up with this idea of her being not just the person from the original story, which was a national incident of her kidnapping a Mormon, but since then she has had genetically made dogs cloned from an original booger.
All named Booger.
Has almost killed a Holocaust survivor, has gotten into altercations in public gyms.
Lost a couple boogers along the way.
lost some boogers, pissed in front of cops. Basically, she has one of those stories that's almost Florida Man worthy, except no Florida man has ever done this much in their life.
Yeah, this is like a combination of all Florida. Like if you were to make Florida Man the movie, combining all the best of Florida Man, this is like Run, Ronnie, Run. That movie with David Cross.
Oh yeah, or the one with the guy from all the Adam Sandler movies, Joe Dirt. Joe Dirt lived that life. Lived that life.
Yeah, Joe Dirt was very much Run, Ronnie, Run, actually,
Yep.
Come to think of it. Very much. I mean, they're different enough where I'm not like, that one ripped off the other, but like, Run, Ronnie, Run was, David Cross, early days. And actually, and I forgot that was actually an early, Mr. Cho character too. Ronnie Dobbs or whatever.
Now, what I have learned from this long, convoluted story is do not trust the writer of the story, even after reading it once, to give you all the fine details needed to have a comprehensive overlook of their story.
You could have the details, but you like almost have to paraphrase.
I need to bullet point this out next time I do one of these, because I realized they were missing dates, individuals' names.
Writers,
I had to
articles,
stop several times just to go back and be like, what now?
Quote unquote journalists, Daily News, whatever, maybe not, but like quote unquote journalists now, like are like, I mean, I get it, like their job is they're just supposed to churn shit out. There's no editors, anything like that, apparently, because it used to be editors would catch all that and go back to you, and then if you'd pass in 2 of these stories, you'd be fucking fired. And
the funny thing is when I was reading this, I actually wanted to read the initial part because it gave an overview of the story, but I thought it would be more sensational to read the sequence of events going in blind. But at the same time, their sequence of events is what the writer decided was enough information going forward for the rest of the story. Like, we don't need to mention this character's name again. Character, like it's a story.
Yeah.
Or the dates again. Like, if they're in the first paragraph, and you're 20 paragraphs in, we don't need to remind you of any of it. You should have retained it.
It's not particularly well written.
No, it is not. And I apologize to the listeners because that came across amateurish.
You gave all the information necessary, I think.
I did, but I'm very sad. I'm going to beat myself up about it.
But here, we still got 2 headlines to go. We're not going to go into
the
actual...
not doing them now.
We're not going to go into dedetails, but we should treat these like headlines.
Yeah,
just literally just rattle them off. I don't know anything about them, so just rattle them off. Give as much detail as you want. I'm not even going to chime in. I just feel like the readers can hear the rest of these.
Cambodia
wants
you to stop picking plants that look like penises. They're endangered. People, white Americans especially, love ripping one out of the ground and putting a dick in your mouth and it's a plant dick.
Yep.
And literally, that's the whole story.
The funny thing is Colbert actually had something about this.
They do look like dicks.
And they actually, CBS made them blur it out. And
Are
he
you
actually,
serious?
And he made the point later on, like, because this was before the crazy shooting that happened recently, after the other crazy shooting happened, but like before,
which one? There were 3 yesterday during U.S. Graduations alone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so
3 in 24 hours.
I'm talking of the shooting, the Uvalde shooting. But he was pointing out that like there was over 100 GOP ads with guns in them, and these people being like, we need to like stop sensationalizing guns, and people on the right saying all this kind of stuff, like, because. By the way, they're talking about it in the scope of like fucking video games and stuff like that. It's like, but seeing your elected officials just shoot their like a target with their opponent's head on it is totally fine. And he was like, and I had to blur a plant because it looked a little bit like a dick. Yep. It's like, it's crazy our fucking ideals here, or our sense of moral.
Quick, shoot that dick plant.
Yeah, shoot a dick plant. Then it would be fucking.
He's trying to rape my Arby's.
Yeah, Arby's. We raped the rape. Oh God. Anyway, last one here. What do we got?
Last one, there is a website that lets you prank Russian officials. Essentially, some hackers got a hold of the phone numbers of all the Russian officials in certain administrative offices connected to war efforts and sometimes just government facilities. And what they've done is create an app where you can press a button and it calls one, calls the other, and then connects them. So when one picks up, they're like, da, and the other one picks up da, and then they're like, da, 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 and they don't know who called, like, you called me, you got your vodka and my bear, you got my bear and your vodka. I don't know much Russian, so.
Do children in Russia cry like da, 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 da?
Yes, da, 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 da.
Wee, da, 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 wee, da, da, da. Oh man, this is like a new show of the French kid and the Russian kid crying.
How people cry across the world.
Yeah, crying across the globe.
But yeah,
According to Scott Bear.
The idea of this website is to tie up their lines and to waste their time so that they can stop mass murdering innocent people.
Yeah. I did see that, well, we won't get into politics.
And also, you can't use it when they're not in office hours. I tried doing it on a Friday afternoon last week, and it said, everyone in Russia is already closed for their business day. There's no point in doing it right now. Come back Monday morning when they're in office.
Right, okay, cool.
So it actually has a cut. It follows Russian time. It works when they're working and doesn't when they're not.
That's a long enough, that's a weird time frame, actually.
That's practically the middle of the night.
Because it's like it's actually half of a day different because it's so far off to the other side, right?
Yeah, so, it's like our midnight's their noon.
Because I know like Vietnam is like 12, 13 hours. Vietnam, Thailand area is like 12, 13 hours, depending on daylight saving time.
Beginning of our days, middle of our days, middle of their night.
Yeah.
It's a fun app.
It could be a lot like Russia. It's fucking huge. It could be. I'm guessing they span.
Russia
a
probably covers a lot of time.
Yeah. You could probably, but generally when they're talking about that, they're talking about the Kremlin, right? So they're talking Moscow or Kremlin area, whatever.
So if you'd like to prank Russian officials, I'm not going to give you the URL right here because it's a URL. I'm just going to say Google prank Russian officials.
Google prank, right? Yeah.
You'll find it.
It'll work. Yeah,
and then that concludes the show. I looked at the last little bullety points were a lot smoother than that one fucking story from Daily Mail. I really wish I had reread it and bullet pointed it now. And in the future, when I have a long rambling story,
we're working through. Yeah, we're something with a lot of, especially now that we totally split up the show.
I realized there were time frames and countries,
and
I should have bulleted it.
We know now, like the way we're splitting up the show, like the person next week you don't have to worry about it because you're going to be taking the movie.
Yeah,
next week.
I should have done more work on my half, considering you actually worked on your half.
Well, it's
I
easy.
put 4 links in the notes.
No, but it is easier working that first half. But I think really what we have to do, because we're going to be splitting off, is take that mindset of the first half and apply it to the second half too. So we can.
Arby's.
We're
figuring
to
it out. Meat.
Yeah, and we're definitely keeping Arby's as a quote unquote sponsor. Arby's is not a sponsor. Anyway, Arby's wants you motherfuckers to get lost.
Get lost.